Listen, guys, if you're looking for a stacked NBA 2K19 account, an account with a high overall, maxed out badges, and everything you could want, hit up my boy Sports TMB. The link to his Twitter will be in the description, man. Tell him that I sent you, and he will hook you up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to address the burning topic on Twitter about which builds take no skill, blah, 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 blah. First, let me clarify a few things before we get into the actual builds I'm going to say are the easiest builds to play on in NBA 2K19. The first thing I want to say is every build takes some type of skill, okay? Like, whether you agree with that or not, like, that is a factual statement. Like, if you just picked up the game and you hop on, let's just say, a glass cleaner, you're not going to be as good as somebody that's an elite glass cleaner on the game. Now you say, oh, all they do is get rebounds. You're not going to have the timing. You're not going to have the defensive IQ to play passing lanes, to hedge screens. Like, you know, you have to get used to all that stuff. And that's why not every glass cleaner is the same, just like not every stretch big is the same. Every build takes some type of skill. But that being said, there are builds that are easier to play on than others, meaning if you picked up the game today for the first time ever, what build are you going to be able to get on and actually have some success on? Obviously, if you play on some 5'7" pure playmaker, it's going to be a lot harder to win games on the park than it would be playing on a 7'3" glass cleaner. Like, obviously, every build takes some type of skill. That's why, you know, let's say you might say a slasher takes no skill, but not every slasher is able to win 95% of their games. Like, obviously, it takes some type of skill to be able to do what the top of whatever archetype they do. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what build you talk about, there's players that use that build that are better than other players that use the same exact build, is my point. All right? So don't take it personal if one of your builds is on this list, because some of the builds I play on are going to be on my list. But I'm just saying, like, obviously, it takes some type of skill to play on any build. Otherwise, everybody would have the same win percentage, the same points per game, all that. And obviously, that's not the case. There's people that play on the same exact build and don't have they don't have near the success that you know you might have on your build because you're a better player than they are. But my point of this list is, if you were to pick up the game today, what is the easiest builds in the game to go to the park and have success on and actually be able to win games? Okay, so let's get right into it. The first build I want to talk about is lockdowns or paint protectors. In my opinion, it's one of the easiest builds in the game. Now, that's, again, I want to clarify, that's not saying all lockdowns are the same. There's obviously elite lockdowns that are better, but I'm saying if you pick up the game today for the first time ever, you go to the park on a lockdown, you will have success. Part of the reason is you don't even really have to know how to play defense, and you're still going to get lightly contested, heavily contested shot. Like, you're going to make people miss shots without even knowing what you're doing. Like, as long as you're in the area, they give you contests. Like, you don't even have to have the right stick up. You don't have to hit wide. You just have to be around the person. Also, you guys ever drive to the basket and had a lockdown near you and you just miss a wide open dunk? As part of being a lockdown, they give lockdowns things. Right now, one of the things about a lockdown is your shooting rating is lower. So obviously you're gonna have to get used to shooting with a relatively kind of low three-pointer. But they even gave lockdown some shooting badges this year, like corner specialist, to make it easier for them. So in my opinion, being a lockdown is one of the easiest builds in the game. And also with a paint protector, the same thing. I mean, you're tall, you're athletic, you can finish inside. And like, you don't even have to play defense, and the game is going to reward you just for being in the area of the person with the ball. Okay, the next build, the stretch big. Yes, oh, you have a stretch. You're right, I have a stretch. And like I said, not everyone is an elite stretch, but if you pick up the game today and you go out on a stretch, as long as you have the badges and you upgraded them, you're going to have some success. Part of the reason is this game allows whites to go in like crazy, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves, man. Losing to people that shoot 8 for 8 and they don't shoot a single green, but they go 8 for 8. Like, to me, that is disgusting that is allowed. But anyways, a pure stretch, you're gonna have success. Why? You're tall, you get bailed out by shooting whites and they go in. You can get bailed out with contested shots. Now, I think contested shots are something that's like overhyped this year. Like, people, they're so obsessed with it. They think like people shoot 80% from three shooting all contested shots, which that is not the case. You look at, trust me, as a stretch big, I've looked at a lot of stretch big shooting percentages, and a lot of them shoot like 50 or 60% from three, which in my opinion for somebody with like a 93 pointer is not very good. Like you should be shooting like 70s or 80% from three on a pure stretch. But you know, a lot of the shots they take are contested, so you know, you factor that in. Okay, obviously they're hitting some wide open shots, and then they're shooting a lot of contested shots that some go in and a lot of them miss, and that, you know, equals out to them shooting 50% from three, even though they have a 93 point rating with all shooting badges. So obviously stretch bigs are not all the same, but I'm just saying if you picked up the game and you go out on a stretch, you're going to be able to have some success just because of the fact that, you know, you don't even have to really understand the jump shot timing and you'll still hit a decent percent of your shots. Obviously, you're tall, so you can shoot over people and get bailed out with contested shots. Plus, on defense, you're like, you know, 6'11", 7 feet tall. So obviously, the taller you are on defense this year, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to, you know, defend not only the paint, but also actually get a contest on shots and things like that. So stretch bigs is definitely on this list for the easiest builds in the game. The next build, a glass cleaner. Now, again, the best glass cleaners in the game do stuff that you'll never be able, that you wouldn't be able to do if you just pick the game up. Obviously, it takes practice, understanding the timing, the IQ, all that. But if you pick up a glass, if you picked up the game and you get on the glass cleaner and you go to the park and at least understand that just set screens and then crash boards, you're going to be able to have success. Like, I'm not saying you're going to win 90% of your games, but it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to play than if you go out there on a 6'2", you know, pure playmaker or something, or a 6'2" shot creator. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to play on that 7'3" glass cleaner because, you know, you're the biggest dude on the court. Your rebounding is so high that at least you'll be effective, that, you know, you can at least get boards for your team, set screens for your team, and all that. Plus, you got to realize on a glass cleaner this year, you get like really, really good defensive badges. You get like gold rim protector and stuff. So it's like you could protect the paint as well. And a lot of times you're so tall on a glass cleaner, even it's the same thing as like kind of like the lockdown thing I said. Even if you're not playing great defense, you're just in the area, they're going to reward you and you're going to get a contest, or they're going to miss a dunk or miss a shot or something like that. So again, obviously not all glass cleaners are the same. I'm not saying that. I know I keep saying it over and over again, but I want to make that clear. But if you just picked up the game, you get on a glass cleaner, you'll be able to go to the park and win some games. It's not like you're going to go out there and just straight struggle. The next one I'm going to say, a pure post scorer. Okay, now listen to me. The reason I put this on here is because of takeover. If it wasn't because of takeover, honestly, I wouldn't say it would be the easiest build. But basically, let me summarize a post scorer for you. If you're able to get 3 dunks or 2 dunks and a layup, you have takeover. Once you have takeover, literally you have the most overpowered animations in the game. You can spin and throw people out of the way. You can drop step and throw people out of the way. And even if the person is smart enough to back up off of you so that you can't throw them out of the way with a drop step or a post spin, guess what? If you pick the ball up in the paint, you will literally put the ball in that dude's chest and throw him out of bounds, and your guy can just go up and dunk the ball. Like, and there's nothing they can do about it. If you get that animation where they just throw you out the way, there's nothing the defender could do about it. So to me, like, without takeover, this is true for a lot of builds, but without takeover on a post, it would take at least a little bit of skill. But once you get takeover on a post, in my opinion, it's like the most OP thing in the game. I mean, like, you could say like the sharpshooter. A lot of takeovers are overpowered. Right? I'm not getting into the takeover debate, but I'm just saying a post scorer, like, once they get those 3 dunks to get takeover, it's honestly, you could not know what you're doing. You just rotate the stick and you're tossing people out of the way, giving yourself a wide open dunk or a wide open layup. Like, come on. I think we all have to agree that deserves to be on there. The last one I'm going to say, the last build, is a pure athletic finisher. I mean, you could say a slasher too, I guess. Yeah, they're you know, it's like a lockdown paint protector, slasher, athletic finisher. The thing I'll say is, like, right now I'm playing on a slasher. The 3-point rating is low, so not everyone could shoot. Kind of similar to a lockdown, but that's the one thing that I would say really does take skill. But the slasher in general, like the way alley-oops are this year, you could literally not know what you're doing, and someone on your team just tells you, like, yo, just go stand by the hoop. I'm gonna throw you alley-oop. Just hold X or hold, you know, circle, whatever. Square. I'm sorry, on PS4. Just go to the hoop, stand there. I'm gonna tell you a lob and hold it. You know, and honestly, you'll make it 80 to 90% of the time. Like, alley-oops are that, like, overpowered this year. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, you know, people say like, oh, you could just run to the rim and hold X. That is true to an extent, but you know, you also have to understand like sometimes you're going to get bad animations, so you have to understand when to go up, when to Euro step and stuff. So I will give slashers and athletics credit for that, but for the most part, like, they're going to make heavily contested layups. I've made smothered contested layups on my slasher. Like, the alley-oops are super overpowered. Like, it's really hard to defend an alley-oop this year, especially like on a slasher athletic that has Hall of Fame Lob City finisher. So I think they definitely deserve to be on this list. But listen, those are the builds I'm listing. I haven't listed what, like 5 builds, I think. Like, well, you know, slasher, athletic, paint protector, lockdown, combine those into one. That's five builds. These are like the 5 builds that I would say if my friend just got the game, right, and he was like, yo, what should I make? I'd be like, you know, make a lockdown, like make an athletic, make a glass cleaner, make, you know, these are the builds that like you could pick up the game, and although you're not going to be a god, you're not going to be the best, you're not going to be as good as the best glass or the best stretch on the game, you're going to be able to have success on that build. You're not going to be out there struggling on some 5-7 pure playmaker, you know what I mean? So listen, comment down below what you think are the easiest builds in the game. You pick up the game, what is the easiest build to have success on, to go win games, to be able to score, to be able to be effective for your team? Obviously, like I said, I want to make it clear one last time. Every build takes skill. Just because you use a build that's quote unquote easy, like I just said, doesn't mean you're going to be as good as the best stretch, the best glass, the best slasher, the best lock in the game. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to have the IQ. You're not going to have the stick skill. You're not going to have those little details that separate like the elite from the average. You know what I mean? But listen, let me know in the comments what you guys think is the easiest builds. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.